starting the day heading to Tel Aviv for a crazy day, back-to-back, all day, from morning to late afternoon. But first, I'm plugging this baby. It's gonna be a wild day. Here we go. In case you don't believe in God and you don't believe there are modern day miracles, parking in Tel Aviv with room to spare. Check this out. That doesn't happen often, and it only took me like 4 or 5 circles to get a parking spot. Anyway, heading to Sarona. Now I'm going to be meeting Eyal Shavitzky, who's a childhood friend, and I mean like age 4 in Queens. We grew up together, and I believe he works in the Fintech space right now. He's in the US, but he's here visiting, and so catch up with him, maybe talk to him a little bit about the payments industry, and yeah, just literally back to back from around 10 a.m. till I think around 4 p.m. if I'm not mistaken. It's gonna be a fun day, but a busy one. All right, camera, stay still. First of all, l'chaim, most importantly.
Cheers.
I need some caffeine this morning. Move closer to me so you're in the frame. All right, okay.
What's up, peeps?
All right, so first of all, let's start with the fact, watch the table. Let's start with the fact that it is actually hard for me to say the number of how long we know each other. How long do we know each other, Eyal?
88, probably? So what?
Why the heck 88? I was born in 78. I don't know, I know from like 82.
No, but we moved.
Oh, you only moved to Hillcrest?
Yeah, we moved to Hillcrest in like 85, 86.
So 85, 86?
Yeah, I guess then.
How many years is that?
Almost 40.
You're a fintech guy, dude.
Almost 40. It's crazy.
40 years!
Nuts.
What is, that is, okay, dude, I feel like I'm 18. But here's the thing, right?
We're not 18.
I know, but here's the thing, right? If I say to you, like without thinking, what was 10 years ago? You'd say 1990.
That's true.
Right? Like,
That's
I feel
true.
like I'm 18.
Well, I'm a big Pearl Jam guy. Now they're playing on oldies.
Okay.
It's crazy. They're on the oldies.
40 years.
It's nuts. It's awesome to see you, dude.
It's crazy, man. All right, what's your name? Who are you? Give me your spiel.
What's up, guys? Eyal Shavitzky. Work at Synctera. Live in Houston.
It's very interesting to me. Just getting philosophical for you on the morning. I'm very over-caffeinated right now. It's very interesting to me, and I had this discussion with a friend of mine on Shabbos. I asked you who you are, and your first answer is where you work.
No, that's deep.
Who are you?
That's deep. All right.
Say to someone, what do you do, right? What do you do?
That's true. It's a fair question.
What do you do? I'm a good
Fair
person. That's what I do. Oh, I happen to be doing this professionally.
Fair.
No, I didn't ask you to do it. What do you? Who are you?
Who am I? I'm a husband. I'm a father. I'm a Jew.
How many kids do you
I'm
have?
passionate. I got 3 little girls.
3 little girls. Okay.
9, 6, and 3.
Beautiful.
They're
You're a
nuts.
Jew?
They're crazy.
So you call yourself a husband before a Jew?
I would say.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
Yeah, this is like really
Okay,
deep.
fine. Let's get to the.
Right. Do you call yourself a husband before a Jew? I don't want you to get you in trouble.
I'm gonna say fundamentally my fundamental core identity is a Jew.
Okay.
I think. Anyway, all right. So yeah, walk me through this. So you grew up in Queens. Keep
So
going.
born in Israel, grew up in Queens. Born in Israel, moved when I was 5 to Queens. That's where we met, Hillcrest. Lived there for about 10 years. Moved back to Israel. High school, army, all that fun stuff.
Did you do in the army?
I was actually right across the street in the Kiryat.
What was your role?
I was in an intelligence anti-terror unit.
Nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty cool. I literally
right.
can see the building from here.
Nice. The HQ of IDF is right behind us. By the way, quick story. I once taught an MK, or he's now a former MK, how to fly a drone. I was teaching to him right here, but I knew that the base was here, so I wasn't gonna like fly. So I took off, and I was literally this high off the ground just to like show him how to do it. Within 30 seconds, I'm not exaggerating. 2 soldiers come with a radar gun, and they're like, "Show me what you just recorded." I'm like, "I didn't record anything. I just took off." They're like, "You see this gun? We were gonna down your drone and confiscate it. You're very lucky that you landed."
Wow.
30 seconds.
It's like Turkey.
It was nuts. Anyway, okay. Go
Anyway,
on.
so did all that jazz. Law school in Israel. Worked here for a little bit. Came back.
Law school.
Law school in Bar Ilan. Yeah.
You know? Did we discuss this?
Maybe.
I went to Bar Ilan. You know that? Did I tell you this?
Did we overlap though?
I don't know. You're 40.
I'm 42.
Well, actually, no, because I did Hesder. No, probably not the same
Yeah.
years. But I didn't. Why'd you go to law school?
Why did I look? Oh, this is a funny story, which is related to what you talked about earlier. I just got in. That was it. That's what we did.
So the answer to
That's what we did. We went to the army, and then we went to college.
Right.
We went to university, right? That's what we do in Israel. That was the story back then.
Right.
And I remember I was on a trip, and I got a call from my dad, and he said, "You got into Bar Ilan. You got the letter. It came in a letter."
Yeah.
And he's like, "You got into Bar Ilan. You got into economics and business, and into law school." And he's like, "What do you want to do?" I'm like, "I don't know." He's like, "Just pick one." I'm like, "All right, let's go to law school." And that was it.
So the answer to the question, why did you go to law school, is why not? Why not? Okay.
Yeah.
So you went to law school, then what?
Then I went to law school. Then I started working as a lawyer, and that's when I knew that I didn't want to be a lawyer.
Right.
So now we're talking late 2000s, and so then I decided to go on an adventure. Went to the States, went to New York, got my master's. It's pretty cool. And then, you know, as the old adage goes, I met my significant other, the love of my life, and we got married. She's originally from Houston.
What's her name?
And I'm sorry?
What's her name?
Esty.
Oh, my daughter's name is Esther. Heard that? You don't remember my grandmother, I assume?
No.
Her name was Esther. Anyway,
I
go
remember
on.
your dad, of course.
Yeah. All right, so get to what we're
anyway,
doing today.
So anyway, moved to New York, worked in New York, worked at a bank. After working at a bank in New York, we had 2 girls. I always like to say, the same apartment my wife and I lived in when we were newlyweds, the same apartment we lived in with 2 kids in Manhattan. We're like, nope, that's not gonna work. So we decided to go to a place that's bigger, and we went to Texas, and went back to Houston where my wife is from. Her parents still live there, so that's really cool. We had another girl, and then I started working at a bank there for another 5 years. And anyway, wanted to do something different, wanted to try something new. And stumbled upon Synctera. Awesome company. Love it.
It's not in the frame.
Oh, it's not in the frame. There it is.
There we go. That's what we're talking about. Okay, what is this company? Tell me about it.
So we're a BaaS provider, banking as a service.
Is that by the way, I was wondering, you said that before. You didn't coin that, did you?
No.
It's a term.
Yeah.
I feel like there's everything AAAS, right?
Exactly.
A friend of mine, I kid you not, a friend of mine who I love, shall remain unnamed right now.
Service.
No, better. He's like, Hillel, you make all these connections all day long, and you're like a hyper connector. I want to build Hillel as a service.
Hillel as a service. Okay.
I was like, let's go, baby.
Let's go.
All right,
copyrighted.
Yeah.
So banking as a service. Basically, what we do is we help fintech startups, or not just startups, any fintechs for that matter, any companies that want to provide financial services to their customers and enhance their services. They need a bank to help support that.
Right.
You can't just open a bank
The back
in your
end.
garage.
Right.
Oh, it's not just the back end, right? It's not only the tech stack, but it's also the regulatory and compliance.
Right.
You can't just be a bank. So
I didn't mean the back end, the tech back end. I mean the infrastructure to be able to do.
Exactly. So, for a while, banks and fintechs were integrating directly, and some are still doing that, and that's pretty cool. But it's super hard, right?
And it's a waste of your time because it's not your focus as a company, right? Not
that's
you.
true. The banks.
I'm saying if I'm a fintech, I want to start dealing with regulation. I want to hitch a ride.
That's true too.
Right.
Yeah, 100%. And then, so banks, historically are a little bit more conservative. They're a little slower. Certainly the big ones, right? So we come and we're the middleman. Try to help. We build the tech stack. We do all that fun stuff, and then we also do the matchmaking between the fintech and the bank. So, what I like to say is, if you're a fintech and you're talking directly with the bank, that could take a long time. It could take 6 months, legal, compliance, operations, and at the end of the day, it might not close, right? And then what do you do?
Right.
You wasted all this time and money and effort, and now you have to go to a new bank. So what Synctera does is streamlines that process. We have a bunch of banks on our platform.
Yep.
We'll introduce the fintech to those banks. We'll find the right match. We'll integrate them from a tech perspective. And within 2-3 months, the bank is ready to go, the fintech's ready to go, let's launch and let's go.
It's win-win. How many people work at your company?
We're about 110 today, yeah.
How much have you raised, if that's public information?
We raised around 60.
60?
60, I think.
Wow, okay, that's serious stuff.
Yeah, the last raise was 50 million safe round led by National Bank of Canada, so that was pretty cool.
That's amazing. Okay, let me ask you one question. One question to wrap up this interview, and it's a big one. You ready?
I don't know if I'm ready.
Is fintech a noun or an adjective? Let me explain what I mean. You've said repeatedly in this conversation, if a fintech wants to, meaning it's a noun. I always used it as an adjective, a fintech company, financial tech. It's the type of tech. It's an adjective to describe a certain sector. You use it as a noun. Which one is it? Is fintech a noun?
That's an interesting question because
I've never heard anyone say that before.
Right, because we're actually I think that the term fintech conjures up images of the proverbial startup in the garage. And the truth is, it's a lot more complex than that. That there are some of those examples, but like I said earlier, we have publicly traded companies on our platform, like big companies that have raised 50, 100, and even hundreds of millions of dollars.
Right.
So we're actually trying to think about the best way to describe it, exactly the types of
I just find it interesting to use it as a noun.
But it is a noun, right?
Interesting.
Right, because those are the people that, at the end of the day, right, it's people, right? It's the people and the product and the brand that's behind everything else.
You're saying the type
But
of
I
word
think-
it is irrelevant.
Yeah, well, other than the fact that you have to clarify at the end what it does,
Right,
right?
right.
And that's what the banks care about at the end of the day.
Are
So
you
that's
here,
pretty
by the
much
way,
it.
now on vacation? Pleasure, business, both?
Both.
How long are you here for?
Family stuff, and work.
How long are you here for?
I've been here for about a week and a half, another few days, and
That's
I'm
it?
going.
More days?
Back Sunday.
How come you don't tell me before you come so I can make some introductions for you, man?
I know. I'm
I'm gonna set you
terrible.
up some meetings.
I know. I have a couple coming. Don't worry. There's more. There are more after you. But
right,
you're
brother.
the first one.
Good stuff. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you, sir.
But I'll just say one thing. Eyal.com, my friend. It's time. It's good to see you, my friend.
Take care.
Come home. Okay, this is an interview a decade overdue. Like, I still find it hard to believe that you have not been on this vlog. There's no way I'd have an interview you, man.
I mean, it's possible. I don't know.
Ben Lang, how long do we know each other?
Long time. I don't know. A good 10 plus years at
Gotta be
least.
more than that.
More?
I think we connected on Twitter originally.
Oh yeah, you were one of the first people I met when I moved to Israel.
That's right.
Like after high school. I basically met you when I was in high school.
How long was that? How many years ago was that?
It was 10 years ago.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so I always say this about you, and I know that you're very humble and you don't like it, but I call Ben Lang a prodigy. How long have you been working in tech? Like, how old were you when you started working in tech?
I just started like when I was in high school, but I started with like an eBay business, and then I started blogging, and
So we're talking like literally you were 16, 17 years old.
I started the eBay thing when I was like 14,
Wow.
and then after that I was like blogging, kind of like your world. I was blogging for like TechCrunch and Business Insider.
So I remember, I remember thinking many years ago, like if there's anyone that I know that can make something go viral, it's Ben Lang. That was my initial impression of you, like, back in the day.
I used to be really into that.
Like you were in like
building,
Hacker News and all that.
Yeah, I used to be like really into building
I
projects,
remember
like
that.
little side projects, and trying to
Oh,
make
and
them
you're
go
still,
viral.
till now, you're still like the person to hunt things on product hunts.
Yeah, I really like product hunting. Yeah,
People, like every single time someone says to me, "Oh, I'm hunting something," I'm like, "Who's hunting you?" Ben Lang. Like you're the guy. Anyway, all right. So give me your elevator pitch. Who is Ben Lang?
It's a great question. I'm living in Tel Aviv, and I work at Notion. I've been there for the past 4.5 years.
You got to talk about Notion, but who are you?
Who am I? I'm Ben, married for the past 2 years, living in Tel Aviv. Big Zionist and fan of all things Israel. Observant Jew, and
That's also new, right? You weren't always.
no, I wasn't always. Yeah. I have a long journey.
I wouldn't even call you observant. I'd call you righteous. That's my opinion. But okay. Anyway, all right. So let's talk.
I try to do both.
Let's talk about your profession. I'm gonna skip all the backstory because we'll be here all day. If we talk about everything that Ben Lang has done in his career, we'll be here all day. So I'm putting that all. We'll do that in the next interview.
Okay.
Now you work as what? What's your role in Notion?
I work full time at Notion. I've been there basically since early days, about 10-ish people. Now 550 people. I'm working remote now that I'm working back in Israel.
So Notion is a fascinating company, like on so many levels, right? What is Notion? Because I've used Notion. Everyone knows Notion. It's a market leader, and it came out of nowhere. Like Asana and Monday, these guys have been around for years. Notion came and just dominated the market.
And Notion, yeah, I mean, I think the first few years it took a while to kind of get where it was today. I think there were kind of some pivotal moments that really transformed the trajectory of the business. I think now there are like 30 plus million people using Notion, so it's really big. The scale is massive. People use it personally and for work. You can use it. Basically, the way people think about it is a way to like manage your life, manage your work. You can use it for project management, notes, tasks, wikis, docs, anything you want really. The idea with the whole concept by Notion is we give you blocks. You can think of it as like Lego blocks.
Yeah, it's like wait, what's it called? Hold on, wait, don't tell me. Remember the word? 1 second. Modular.
Yeah, it's like modular basically. It's you kind of create your own. Yeah. Create your own Lego set, and you can, with Notion, you can create the software that you want for whatever use case you want. And I think that's what draws people into it.
Love it.
We want to enable people to become tool makers.
Right. So you're a private company.
Yeah.
How much have you raised to date?
I think Notion has raised $400 million.
It's such a crazy number.
Yeah.
$400 million. That's nuts. And you are a market leader.
I mean, Notion's definitely.
It's like bigger than all of them.
It's used by quite a lot of people. I think yeah, a good chunk of like Fortune 100 and 50% of YC startups use it. So it's definitely
It became the hot
gotten there.
product. I feel like it's a new Slack. Slack was so hot. And
People equate Notion and Slack together quite a bit. Like they'll use both together.
That's interesting. That's very interesting because I feel like Notion has communication built in.
It's not for chat, but they go along. They play together really well.
I have to give Notion a sec. I have to use it in my own business. I've tried. Listen, I'm not the target audience, but I feel like it could enhance my business if I just gave it a second to learn how to use it.
Yeah,
but
there's definitely a learning curve. That's we call it like the IKEA, the IKEA effect, where when you build stuff from IKEA, you like it even more. But it takes work. It's hard. If you ever build something from IKEA, it's not easy.
But you enjoy it more after you're done.
You enjoy it more after you're done. You feel so satisfied that you built it. So same idea.
Got it. Okay, so you're marketing and community. Is that your role there?
Yeah, community. I basically built out like our community function over the past few years, and that's included a lot of different things.
Amazing.
Like certifications, influencer marketing, ambassadors, whole slew of things.
Okay, so you moved back to Israel a couple of weeks ago?
Moved back a couple months ago. My wife and I left for a short period of time for Notion to be in our offices in New York, and we decided to come back and spend the rest of our lives here.
Love it, love it. All right, dude. Listen. First of all, let's hang out more now that you're here. But more importantly, if I could be helpful with anything, by the way, we didn't mention it, but in addition to Notion, you're also investing.
Yeah, I'm a very active angel investor.
Okay. How old are you, by the way?
29.
How? Okay, you make me feel very inadequate. 29 years old, and it's like, okay, whatever. Anyway, bottom line, you're here. I don't think, you have access to everyone, but if there is anyone that I can facilitate access to or help in any. Okay, that was the first. So I'm using a new Sony camera. It's the ZV-100 Mark II is the name of this camera. Amazing camera, but the battery just completely went kaput in the middle of this interview. So just real quick, just rewind a little bit. In addition to Notion, you're investing, you're making active angel investments. You're pretty agnostic.
Yeah, I'm doing a lot of pre-seed, seed, Israel, US, Europe.
Love it.
Pretty active.
What I was saying is, before my camera died, is if I could be helpful with anything, you know where to find me. And let's hang out more because, again, it's been a couple of years. But, I'm a follower, I'm a fan, love what you're doing. And let's continue the conversation, bro.
Let's do it.
It's great to see you,
Looking forward.
Welcome home. I did tell you that today's gonna be crazy. Honestly, I wanted to keep this episode pretty short, so I did not interview at least 2-3 more people that I met with, even though they would have been awesome interviews. But that's gonna have to wait till next time. I am heading now back home. I think I have 3 more Zooms, and then the weekend. Today and this week has been pretty epic. Next week, it's gonna be even better. See you then.